All right, so let's dive in something kind of cool today. An 18.5-inch industrial panel PC. You know, the kind you might see like on a factory floor or tucked away in like a control panel somewhere. We've got like a whole bunch of info on this thing, specs and features and everything. And I'm really curious to see what makes this thing so special.
Yeah, these things are becoming more and more essential these days,
Right.
as industries are relying more and more on automation and data collection, especially in like really tough environments. These rugged computers are really starting to shine.
Yeah, they're really stepping up to the plate. Okay, so first off, we've got three different models to sort of unpack here. The IMD 185-W200-I3, the IMD 185-W210-I3, and the IMD 185-W220-I3. And each one has options for a touchscreen, either capacitive or resistive. So
Yeah.
what's the deal with those? Is it like choosing between like a fancy latte and a good old cup of joe?
Haha. That's a pretty good analogy. So the capacitive touchscreen is like your smartphone, smooth glass, really responsive. But when you're out in the field, you might need something a bit more hardcore. And that's where resistive screens come in. Think about somebody working in a factory with gloves on. They need a screen that reacts to pressure, not just a light touch.
Right, so it's all about choosing the right tool for the job, I guess. Now, something else that caught my eye was this high-resolution display. They're boasting about 1920 by 1080, and they're making a big deal about the brightness, too, 400 CDMA2. Is that just marketing fluff, or is there a real reason why those things matter in an industrial setting?
No, definitely not fluff. Imagine you're trying to monitor a critical process in a brightly lit factory.
Hmm.
Or maybe you've got this panel PC mounted outside in direct sunlight. A dim, washed out screen could lead to mistakes or even accidents. Having a clear, bright display ensures that you can see what's happening no matter the conditions.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And speaking of tough conditions, this thing looks like it could survive a hurricane. We're talking aluminum alloy frame fanless cooling and an IP65 rating for dust and water resistance. What does that even mean in practical terms?
Okay, so think of a food processing plant where they have to constantly hose everything down to stay sanitized. With an IP65 rating, this panel PC can handle those washdowns no problem. It's totally sealed against dust and can withstand jets of water from any direction. It's not just about being splash-proof, it's built for serious water exposure.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. It's like they designed it with those specific environments in mind.
Oh, absolutely. They've considered all sorts of challenging conditions,
Yeah.
extreme temperatures, vibrations, you name it. This thing is built to handle it all while keeping those important processes running smoothly.
It's like the Terminator of computers. But it's not just about brawn, right? This thing has some serious processing power under the hood, too. Intel Core i3 processors, up to 64 gigabits of RAM, 512 gigabits of SSD storage. That's got to be a step up from your average office computer.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it this way. If you're running complex applications or crunching massive data sets or controlling intricate machinery, you need a computer that can keep up without lagging or crashing. These specs ensure smooth, reliable performance even under really demanding workloads. It's like comparing a scooter to a sports car. Both can get you around, but one is built for speed and power.
Okay, so we've got the tough exterior and the powerful engine. But what about the connections? It looks like this thing has more ports than a shipping dock. We've got USB 2.0 and 3.0, LAN HDMI VGA. It even has RS-232 with options for RS-485, RS-422, and GPIO. What's the point of having so many different ways to connect things?
Well, that's where the real genius of this machine comes in. In an industrial setting, you're often dealing with a mix of old and new equipment. Imagine you need to connect to a legacy machine that uses an older serial port like RS-232, or maybe you need to control a robotic arm using a more modern protocol like RS-485. This panel PC can talk to all of them.
So it's like a universal translator for industrial equipment.
Exactly. It bridges the gap between different generations of technology, which is essential in a world where systems are constantly evolving. And then there's GPIO, general purpose input-output. This is where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's so special about GPIO? It sounds a bit like something out of a science fiction movie.
It kind of is. Imagine you want to monitor the temperature of a furnace. Or maybe you need to control the flow of liquids in a pipeline. GPIO lets you connect custom sensors and actuators directly to this panel PC and control them through software.
So it's like giving the computer a direct line to the physical world.
Precisely. And that opens up a whole world of possibilities for automation and customization. You can tailor this PC to fit your specific needs and create a truly intelligent system.
This is blowing my mind a little bit. We've got a computer that can survive a factory floor process, massive amounts of data, and control physical systems in real time. What's next? Does it make coffee too?
Oh, maybe not coffee, but it does have some other cool tricks up its sleeve. For example, it supports multiple operating systems, Windows, Ubuntu, and the CentOS.
Why so many options? Is there a benefit to having that kind of flexibility?
Absolutely. Different users have different preferences and software requirements. Some might be more comfortable with a traditional Windows environment, while others might prefer the open source flexibility of Linux distributions like Ubuntu or CentOS.
So it's about choosing the best tool for the job, just like with the touchscreen options. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Exactly. And that's why having those multiple operating system choices is so valuable. It gives you the flexibility to tailor the panel PC to your specific needs and ensures compatibility with a wider range of software. It's like having a toolbox with every kind of wrench you could possibly need.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. Power, durability, flexibility, this thing seems to have it all.
It really does, and there are even more details that make it stand out. Things like a built-in real-time clock and a special timing switch for automated tasks. But before we get into those, I think it's time to shift gears a little bit and dive into what sets these three models apart.
You're right, we've covered a lot of ground already. Okay, so we know all three models have those Intel Core i3 processors. But I noticed that they're from different generations. Does that really make a difference in terms of performance?
It definitely does. Think of it like this. Each generation of Intel processors brings improvements in speed efficiency and graphics capabilities. So while all three models will deliver solid performance for demanding applications, the newer generation processors will offer a noticeable edge in terms of responsiveness and power.
So it's like choosing between a reliable workhorse and a thoroughbred racehorse.
That's a great way to put it. It depends on your specific needs and budget. But regardless of which model you choose, you're getting a seriously powerful machine that's ready to tackle any industrial challenge.
Okay, so we've got the tough exterior, the powerful engine, the flexible connections. And now I'm ready to hear more about those unique features you mentioned earlier. What's the deal with this real-time clock and the timing switch? They sound intriguing.
They are. And they hint at the incredible level of automation this panel PC can achieve. But before we get too deep into that, let's take a step back for a second and talk about how this panel PC is designed to be more than just a standalone unit. It's built to be integrated into larger systems.
Okay, I'm curious, what do you mean by integrated?
Well, they mentioned that the frame is optimized for embedded installations, which basically means it's designed to fit seamlessly into other equipment or control panels. Picture it as a puzzle piece that slides right into a larger machine, almost disappearing into the system.
So it's not just about sitting on a desk.
Exactly. This panel PC can become the brain of a much more complex operation, coordinating processes, collecting data, and making sure everything runs smoothly behind the scenes.
Now that you mention it, I remember seeing something in the specs about the frame being ultra slim. I guess that makes sense if you're trying to fit it into tight spaces.
Absolutely. Space is often at a premium in industrial settings, so they've designed this panel PC to be as compact as possible without sacrificing any of its power or functionality.
All right. I think I'm starting to get the bigger picture here. This is more than just a computer. It's a versatile, rugged piece of technology that can adapt to all sorts of industrial environments and handle a wide range of tasks.
You got it. And we're just scratching the surface here. There's a whole lot more to unpack, especially when it comes to those automation features like the timing switch.
Well, I'm hooked. Let's keep digging.
Yeah.
What else can you tell me about this timing switch? What kind of magic does it do?
Well, it's not exactly magic, but it's pretty close. This timing switch allows the panel PC to act like a very precise alarm clock, triggering specific actions at pre-programmed times.
This is like more than just turning on and off at a certain hour.
Way more. Think of it like a super-powered scheduler. Let's say you have a system that needs to collect data at regular intervals, like monitoring the pressure levels in a pipeline. You can use the timing switch to tell the panel PC, hey, I need you to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning, run this diagnostic program, log the data, and then go back to sleep. And it'll do it, all on its own.
That's pretty amazing. No more setting reminders or needing someone to babysit the system constantly.
Exactly. It frees up human operators to focus on more complex tasks, while the panel PC takes care of the routine stuff. And it's incredibly reliable. You don't have to worry about someone forgetting to run a program or missing a critical data point. It's all handled automatically like clockwork.
Okay, so we've got this rugged computer that can handle any environment. It's packed with processing power. It can connect to, anything under the sun. And now we've got this timing switch that lets it run tasks automatically. I'm starting to feel like this panel PC is less of a tool and more of a team member.
It really is a game changer in terms of automation and efficiency. It's like having a dedicated assistant who never gets tired or takes a coffee break.
I like the sound of that.
Mm.
But I'm still a little fuzzy on how this timing switch actually works. Is it like setting an alarm on your phone? Or is it something more sophisticated?
Oh, it's definitely more than your average alarm clock. Think of it as like an internal program within the panel PC that allows you to create these complex schedules and trigger events based on specific time intervals, dates, or even external signals.
External signals, what does that mean?
Let's say you've got a sensor that detects a change in temperature, or maybe a pressure valve that opens. You can connect those signals to the timing switch and program the panel PC to respond accordingly.
So it's not just about time. It's about responding to like real-world events as they happen. That's where things start to get really interesting. It's almost like this panel PC is developing a sense of awareness of its surroundings.
You're getting it. That's
Yeah.
what makes this technology so exciting. It's not just about brute force computing. It's about creating systems that can adapt, respond, and learn from their environment.
This is definitely pushing the boundaries of what I thought was possible with an industrial computer. It's no longer just a tool. It's like a partner in the process.
Precisely. And the possibilities are endless. You can use it to optimize production lines, monitor safety systems, control energy consumption, and so much more.
Speaking of possibilities, let's circle back to something we touched on earlier, those different operating systems. You mentioned Windows, Ubuntu, and CentOS. Why would someone choose one over the other? Is it just a matter of personal preference?
Well, personal preference definitely plays a role. Some people are just more familiar with Windows, while others might prefer the open source nature of Linux distributions like Ubuntu or CentOS. But there's more to it than just, feeling comfortable.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are the other factors to consider?
Well, it depends on the specific software applications you need to run. Some software is designed specifically for Windows, while others might run better on Linux. And then there's the question of security and stability. Certain operating systems are considered more robust for critical applications where downtime is just not an option.
So it's about choosing the best tool for the job again. Just like with those touchscreen options. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Exactly. And that's why having those multiple operating system choices is so valuable. It gives you the flexibility to tailor the panel PC to your specific needs and ensures compatibility with a wider range of software.
I'm sensing a theme here. Flexibility seems to be like a key design principle for this panel PC. It can handle different environments, connect to various devices, run on different operating systems, and even schedule tasks based on time or external events. It's like they've anticipated every possible need and built a solution for it.
It's impressive, isn't it? They've really thought this through. And speaking of thinking things through, there's one more feature I want to highlight, that built-in real-time clock you mentioned.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that earlier. I was kind of curious about that one. Why is having a real-time clock such a big deal?
Well, in many industrial applications, accurate timekeeping is absolutely critical. Imagine you're running a process that requires precise timing, or you need to log data with timestamps for regulatory compliance. A regular computer clock might drift over time, especially if there's a power outage, but a real-time clock keeps ticking even when the main system is down.
So it's like an extra layer of reliability, ensuring that everything is synced up and running on schedule no matter what.
Exactly. It's a small detail, but it makes a huge difference in terms of precision and dependability, especially in mission-critical applications.
Wow, we've really gone deep on this panel PC. We've explored its rugged design, its processing power, its connectivity options, the different operating systems, and these fascinating automation features like the timing switch and the real-time clock. I'm starting to feel like an expert myself.
Haha, you're getting there. But there's one more element we need to explore before we wrap up this deep dive. Remember how we talked about the panel PC being more than just a standalone unit? Well, there's a whole world of possibilities when it comes to integrating it into larger systems and networks.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Where do we even begin with that?
Let's start with the big picture. This panel PC is designed to be like a key player in what's often called Industry 4.0, or the Industrial Internet of Things.
Those sound pretty futuristic. What do those terms even mean?
They represent a major shift in the way industries operate. We're talking about a world where machines are becoming smarter, more connected, and more autonomous. Think of it as like a network of intelligent devices, all talking to each other, sharing data, and making decisions in real time.
And this panel PC, with all its capabilities, is right at the center of that network.
Absolutely. It's the bridge between the physical world of machines and sensors and the digital world of data and software.
Okay, that's pretty mind-blowing. But what does this all mean for, someone like me? who's not working on a factory floor every day. What's the takeaway for the average person?
That's a great question. And the answer is that this technology is going to impact all of us. Whether we realize it or not, it's going to change the way things are made, the way we get our energy, the way we manage our cities, even the way we live in our homes.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. I guess we're just at the beginning of this technological revolution.
We are, and that's what makes it so exciting. There's so much potential for innovation and positive change.
All right, so we've got this powerful, adaptable panel PC that's ready to take on the challenges of Industry 4.0. But I'm still curious about how it fits into this bigger picture of interconnected devices and smart factories. What are some specific examples of how it might be used in this brave new world of automation?
That's a great question, and it's a question that deserves a deeper dive of its own. But before we get carried away with all the possibilities, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned about this remarkable piece of technology.
Sounds good. I could use a quick refresher after all that mind-bending information.
All right, so we started with this rugged 18.5-inch industrial panel PC, and we explored its impressive features: the durable design, the powerful processing, the flexible connectivity options, the different operating systems, and those incredibly useful automation features like the real-time clock and the timing switch. We even touched on how it's designed to be integrated into larger systems.
It's been quite a journey. I feel like we've uncovered like the hidden superpowers of this unassuming piece of hardware.
We have, and the best part is that we've only just scratched the surface. There's a whole universe of possibilities waiting to be explored, and this panel PC is the key to unlocking them.
Well, I'm ready to explore that universe.
Yeah.
Let's dive into those real-world applications and see how this panel PC is shaping the future of industry. Okay, so let's jump back into this world of interconnected devices and smart factories. I'm ready to see how this panel PC fits into all of that.
All right, so picture this. You're on a modern factory floor. It's buzzing with activity, but there's no chaos, you know? Machines are humming, robotic arms are moving with precision, and everything seems to be running like a well-oiled machine. Literally.
I'm already intrigued. So where does our panel PC fit into this scene?
It's the silent conductor, orchestrating this whole symphony of automation. It might be mounted on a robotic arm, providing the brains for precise movements and tasks, or it could be integrated into a control panel, monitoring the entire production line, collecting data from sensors, and making adjustments in real time to optimize efficiency and quality.
So it's not just about like individual tasks, it's about overseeing the entire process.
That's right. It's about creating a seamless flow of information and control, connecting all the different parts of the factory into a single intelligent ecosystem.
It's almost like a central nervous system for the factory.
That's a great analogy. And just like a nervous system, it needs to be able to react quickly to changes and keep everything running smoothly.
Okay, so I'm seeing how this panel PC can bring automation to like a whole new level. But what about those specific real-world examples you mentioned earlier? Can you give me a concrete scenario where this technology is already making a difference?
Absolutely. Let's take the example of a food processing plant. Hygiene and safety are paramount in this environment, and there's a constant need for cleaning and sanitation.
Right. I remember you mentioning that earlier when we were talking about the IP65 rating.
Yeah.
And how this panel PC can handle being hosed down.
Exactly. So imagine our panel PC is mounted on a production line. Where food products are being packaged, it's connected to sensors that monitor temperature, humidity, and other critical parameters, and it's also connected to the cleaning system.
Okay, I'm following along. So what happens next?
As the production cycle finishes, the panel PC automatically triggers the cleaning process. High-pressure water jets sanitize the equipment, and the panel PC monitors the entire process, making sure every nook and cranny is thoroughly cleaned. Once the cleaning is complete, the panel PC verifies that all safety protocols have been met and signals that the production line is ready to start again.
Wow, that's impressive. And it all happens without any human intervention.
That's the beauty of it. It ensures consistency, reliability, and efficiency, all while maintaining the highest standards of hygiene and safety.
I could see how this would be a game changer for like any industry that relies on clean environments, like pharmaceuticals or electronics manufacturing.
You got it. And that's just one example. This technology is being applied in all sorts of fascinating ways, monitoring energy consumption in smart buildings, controlling traffic flow in smart cities, even optimizing irrigation systems in agriculture.
It's amazing to think that this this little panel PC, which started as a discussion about a seemingly niche product, has opened up this whole window into the future of how we live and work. It's a great reminder that technology is more than just gadgets and gizmos. It's about finding solutions to real-world problems and making our lives better.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about creating a world where technology empowers us to do more, achieve more, and live better. And that's something worth diving deep into, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive for today. We've gone from the nuts and bolts of this industrial panel PC to the grand vision of Industry 4.0 and the interconnected world of the future. It's been quite a journey.
It has. And I hope our listeners have enjoyed the ride and come away with a new appreciation for the incredible power of technology to shape our world.
I have a feeling they have. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.